Ah, what an incredible video! Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back to the Video Village. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Muse's new video for Cryogen, which looks pretty spectacular from what I've seen from the thumbnails. It reminded me a little bit of what I've seen from Falling in Reverse. So I'm curious if that's actually true or if that's just my imagination taking a run. But yeah, I'm gonna be taking a look shortly. So in case you're new here, my name is Manon the Reeper. I am a filmmaker. I mostly work in the horror and science fiction genres. You can actually watch 2 of my short films on my channel. And what I do here on the channel is watch music videos and take my filmmaker lens to it and kind of deconstruct how it was made in terms of camera work, VFX, all of that kind of cool stuff, and how they become the packages that we love with the music. You can also find some of my work on Patreon as well, in case you're interested, so definitely make sure to check that out. And without further ado, let's get into the video. No. What's that? Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Ah, what an incredible video. That was so cool. Absolutely feel like there is more there. I wonder if this is going to be the first in like a series? Very exciting, very exciting. I feel like there's going to be a whole lot more because I know that I think this is the first of a new album that they have released. So I'm very curious if there's going to be more in sort of the same story because that would be so cool. Anyway, so it appears that we're in sort of like this future somewhere, different planet, very cool setting, very effectively introduced to us here with these beautiful wide shots. Fantastic world building with this red river and the very white, black and white landscape. Super cool. And basically then the majority of the video is sort of in this setup here. So where the band is performing in front of this incredible waterfall, which by the way, I think the water is hot or warm at least compared to the other, to the ice, because there's definitely like some clouds and it looks more like steam than regular like water vapor that's coming from waterfalls, but maybe that's got something to do with that big old sort of spaceship creature thing that we saw later on. So let's take a look. Absolutely love the colors in the video with the black and white and the red, and you know we have the river, but they're also obviously dressed in this sort of same black and white theme with the red. Really beautiful. The guys were clearly on a set somewhere that was probably all green because everything around them looks very, very CGI. The amps here are also, you know, placed onto the ice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The way that we sort of go between these shots and we see some of these big old cracks in the ice here, which we don't see here necessarily. So there's some interesting variation in what happens on the ice here in these shots. And I absolutely love this view. It's so cool. This sort of ice world, which obviously fits with the title of the song. Really cool song, by the way. Very Muse-like. I used to be a big fan of theirs. Like, wow, is that 20 years ago? I guess it is. But yeah, their Supermassive Black Hole album, I think that was the title of the album, was one of my favorites at the time. I listened to it so much. And I love how Muse they still sound. It's just incredible how recognizable their sound is. And still very modern. Like, this sounds like a great 2026 track. So very exciting. And actually, now that I'm thinking of it, like them too, they had this sort of space theme, right? With the supermassive black hole. So I guess that's just something that they enjoy exploring. Then we have this part where he's sort of walking into the snow. Now he's wearing some sort of belt. It's not a backpack, but some sort of belt here on his, over his coat. And I was kind of wondering what it is. Maybe someone knows, but I was at first thinking it was a backpack, but then I was thinking it was part of like his guitar kit, but then he has the leather strap with his guitar, so it wasn't that either. So I was a little curious, like what's the purpose of this thing that he's wearing? And it's not part of his coat either. Which, by the way, I love this coat. And you know what's really funny is that these sets are usually pretty hot, especially under like the bright lights, and the sets are enclosed, so there's not a lot of fresh air. He was probably pretty warm in his down jacket, you know, so it's kind of fun that they had him. Maybe they had like a wind machine going to kind of at least give him a little bit of a sense that he was like on a windy, icy landscape. At least I hope that they did, although I didn't see a whole lot of movement in their clothes or in their hair, which I thought was funny. And also, like, the snow gets progressively worse, but there's no snow like landing on their jackets and sticking, you know, as it would in reality. So I thought that was pretty funny. VFX are really great, and this is the first shot basically where we have some interaction with the VFX other than just the environment. So here we have the shoe, which they did put some fake snow on, and we have some of this ice that sort of breaks off and you know, shoots outward, which is really cool. Very, very cool. And this is the first reveal we get of whatever creature or like spaceship thing, which almost looks like a bracelet, except really big. No idea, but I'm a big Battlestar Galactica fan, and I mean the 2000s Battlestar Galactica. And it reminded me a little bit of the Cylons, especially later where it's revealed with like the red water and the laser and all of that stuff. And it really reminded me of that because the Cylons too, and especially their ships, was like this cool combination between the metal and the organic. And I wonder if maybe that's sort of what they went for. But I thought that was pretty cool. And so there's this moment in his reflection that I caught, and I wanted to just point out that the reflections in the goggles are really cool. It really goes to show how much effort they put into making sure that, you know, the reflections are also properly reflecting the world around them. But weirdly, there was this one shot of the goggles. Let me find it. Ha. Okay, that took me a moment to find, but look at this, okay? Because I was looking at those reflections and then I saw this. So I don't know if it is that they missed this and didn't add the reflections here. We're just seeing the crew here. But that to me looks very distinctly like 3 people. I don't see a camera necessarily, although I don't know what we see on the right-hand side here. Unless that's foreshadowing maybe for something that's coming, like some sort of alien creatures. You tell me. I don't know. I was like a little bit unsettled by all of a sudden like these reflections like actually showing something that looks like humans. So I thought that was very funny. And also we see his eyes there. So maybe it is, if you look at some of the other reflections, we don't really see his eyes at all. You see? And so here we even see the mic and everything, and we just see the other world, right? So I don't know. Maybe I caught something there, but I got excited for a second. Like, I don't know what that is. Either way, I thought it was pretty cool regardless. Like the reflections are very neat. So something else I saw while I was looking for that shot is actually something I saw. I was thinking that it actually looks like they put some ice on his jacket here and his shoulders that we then in the next shot don't really see, right? So it's a lot of work. VFX, you have to respect how much time and effort goes into each and every one single frame to make it look like this. Like even all the ice and the snow that we see, it's a lot. And so to actually have so like snow especially is really hard because it really affects the environment. And like all of them should essentially, especially towards the end of the video, be covered with snow. And I don't know if that's because they added more than they anticipated while shooting, because you could actually add the snow during shooting so that you have some sort of like progression in the song. Like whilst you're shooting the latter part, you can add more snow on the jackets, fake snow. But that was just something that kind of stood out to me, is that they didn't really account for that much. And like here, you can see some of this here. So they did think about it, but it's just not very consistent. I don't know if that's VFX or not, or if it's... That's interesting. Oh, and then this also was very cool. This is also the VFX of the ice growing and him becoming encapsulated and sort of like icing over. Very cool effects. Absolutely love that. But it doesn't stick, so I wonder what like the story is with that, right? Like what's the point? Because it in the next frames it's gone, as well as doesn't happen to the band either. So I wonder what kind of the story is of that. And then here all of a sudden, like, they're facing the waterfall and the ice is breaking up, and obviously like the water must be hot, right? He takes off his goggles to see this crazy thing coming out of the water, which looks so cool. Oh my god. Absolutely love this reveal. And then the laser. Oh my gosh. Like, I would be running the other way, but our main character, Matt here in this case, keeps walking towards it. But this is so cool. It almost looks like a painting. Yeah, absolutely love this. But yeah, this is where the weather really picks up. And also, like, the YouTube algorithm isn't great with snow or rain, like, to this extent. So it's getting a little pixelated here and there. As I said, it's like the band is still sort of oddly unaffected by the weather. Like, the hair isn't really moving, neither are their clothes. But it's just overall a really cool vibe, and I love this shot as well. And then the ending, so badass. I love that moment where he's just like walking towards... Very cool camera movement, by the way. Just throughout the camera movement's pretty epic. Very smooth shots. The other shots are like a steady cam, where all of the movement's just very smooth, which looks great and very fitting for the genre as well, because there are some of the typical things. So this is definitely one of my favorite shots of this video. It's very much like it could be your wallpaper on your computer, you know. It's just really cool looking. Really, really, really curious to what this story is here, because I feel like there should be more. I want to know more, like, what is this world, what's happening here, but especially what is this sort of ship alien thing? And the little reflection that I caught, was that actually an accident, or was that foreshadowing for what's to come? I don't know. So please do tell in the comments. Would love to know your thoughts. Would love to know if you know more. If there is gonna be more, please let me know if you want me to keep following along these videos, because these look great. I'm very excited, very stoked to sort of discover what this story is, what this world is, what this creature, alien ship thing is. Either way, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the thumbs up button so we can reach more people, and I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Peace.